The city of Gardcity is really starting to come together now, with the majority of the mainline termini now complete, bringing commuters in from across the map. However, there are still 2 more mainline stations that need completing. On the eastern side of the city sits Gardcity St John, home of the Transrapid, the Gardcity St Eastern, and currently a total mess. However, this is not what we're focusing on, as today we're heading west. This is Gardcity St Peter, home of the Gardcity Great Western franchise and possibly the worst designed terminus in the city. We have too many platforms, complicated junctions, and a depot out to the west that just doesn't make sense. So today, I'm going to take this badly designed terminus and turning it into this excellently designed interchange. Finally, the Gardcity Great Western is getting its upgrade, and if you're a fan of airports, this is definitely the episode for you. Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the M4J network here on OpenTTD. Welcome to Gardcity St John, which isn't actually related at all to today's episode, but it is related to the new project. We have 2 more franchises that we need to get up and running before we can start inviting people onto this map to run their own services and do whatever they want, within reason of course, but basically come on here and start getting things set up and running. This is one of them over here at GSJ, the Gardcity Great Eastern, which runs out on these tracks and these tracks. I have a whole plan for what I want to do with those. We'll talk about those next time. Instead, we're going to cross over. The other reason I'm here, by the way, is because Transrapid is here, which is what we did last time. Yeah, there's the link. There's the link. In case anyone was wondering, there was the connection. Instead, we're going to head across the city to Gardcity St Peter, which is this one here, and we're going to look at the Gardcity Great Western, which is the focus of today's video. We have a lot of stuff that we need to do today, just like with the Gardcity Southern, Southwestern and Southeastern. I have drawn up a plan of action, which I have sent off to George, who is the operator of both the franchises we've just discussed. He's not got back to me, so I'm hoping everything I do today is in line with what he had envisaged. But yeah, we're going to be rebuilding the Great Western today, Great Eastern next month, and then also the Crosstown link, which there it is, this one, which links the west to the east. We're going to be focusing on that, possibly as like a little mini episode or something, I don't really know yet. George is also the operator of the Gardcity Connect franchise, which is Gardcity Connect and Gardcity Express, and they operate through Centrelink, Centerrail, sorry, not Centrelink, which are these 4 bridges here. Now, this has all been done technically. The bridges themselves need re-signalling, because, right now, the signals are too close together. But everything north of Gardcity and everything south of Gardcity have actually been done. So that one's ready to go. There is also the branch, which we'll talk about in a second, from the airport up to, I forgot the name of the station, so that's good, isn't it? That's a good way to start. But yeah, let me give you a quick rundown as to what we're going to be doing today, and then we're going to go and actually start doing it. So first thing first, we're going to be reconfiguring Gardcity St Peter. There are 4 platforms here at the southern end. We're going to be zipping those out. They will no longer exist. So it's from this one here over to this one here. They're going to be ripped out. These 4 here are then going to be the slow platforms. These 4 here are going to be the fast platforms. 5, sorry, are going to be the fast platforms. And then this one, we're going to be leaving that for something special. I think I've mentioned it before in a previous episode, but I have plans for this platform, as well as other platforms around the network that could be built like this. If you think you know what I'm talking about, then by all means let me know in the comments below. There's no prize for guessing it right, but you get a pat on the back and a well done, so that could be good. Once these 4 platforms are gone, we're going to be left with a gaping hole. We're going to fill that hole with a new bus station, which means that this bus station over here is going to get nixed. We're going to completely remove it, and in the place of this one, we're going to build a new tram hub. This is badly needed, believe it or not. You might be thinking, but why? Trust me, this is badly needed. Everything around here is badly optimized because the stations were built first and then the other transport connections were sort of shoehorned in. Over here at St Michael, I have kind of gone away and tried to fix it, but it's still not great. The bus is the miles away from the actual station, and then the trams are either side here, which kind of works and kind of doesn't, depending on where people want to go. If they're getting on a tram here heading west, they already have to head past this one in order to go where they need to go. Having a single tram hub would have been much better, but we built a metro station in the way there. Now, in theory, we could actually move the metro to this side and then have the trams occupy the rest of this space. That might be something we swing back to, actually, because that's not a bad idea. So in other words, just take out these tram bays here, tidy up the road a little bit, move these platforms, what's that, 3 tiles to the north, 2 tiles to the north, and then rebuild the tram hub over here and have it as a single location. Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more I like that idea. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. But we're not building that today. We're building here. So yeah, we're going to build a brand new tram hub in this little space behind the skyscraper, so you won't actually see most of it. But we're going to have double length platforms. And we're going to just make it look good, basically. Simple as that. Once that's done, we are going to start heading up the line. Oh yeah, the new bus station as well. I've got plans for that. It's all good. We're going to go up the line. First thing we're going to do is reconfigure the lines here. What we're basically going to do is bring the throat down this way so that the slow lines line up with Cardtown, which is this station here. So this is actually going to end up going straight. Now, I liked this junction. I really did. So I want to try and rebuild it as best I can over here. We're going to reduce the number of tracks here. I think there's 8 at the moment. We're going to take it down to 6. 3 fast, 3 slow. That, I think, is the best way of doing it. And then after one set of 3s, it's then going to go into fast and slow. We're going to rebuild this overground line here. We're going to have it sort of curve this way and then swing around so that it tunnels underneath and then emerges on this side and looks a little bit tidier. These decommissioned tracks, if I can get my words out, we're going to remove, and we're going to reprofile the curve on this side as well, just to make it a bit nicer. Redo all of this. This isn't going to be in today's episode, but I hate it, so we're going to redo it all. And then we are going to rebuild Cardtown MPD, TMD, Tractive Maintenance Depot, not Motive Power Depot. There are differences in the names, believe it or not, and they shouldn't be, but there are. I don't even think... this is my lack of knowledge coming out. I think it does mean something, whether it's a TMD or an MPD. I don't know whether it's actually to do with form of traction, or am I just talking out my arse? I have no idea, but there may be a reason why they're what they are. We're going to rebuild that in this space. We're also going to leave some room for housing, because Florentine Way here is kind of a vital interchange in the overground bus sort of thing. There was meant to be a tram line that came down here at some point as well. I don't think that's going to happen now, sadly. But yeah, we're going to try and build some more housing here, as well as squeezing in the depot. The depot is going to have a minimum capacity of 15. So we're going to probably spread it all the way down as far as the current site. We'll see. Once all that's done, we're going to head down the line again to Plynston, and we're going to rebuild the freight lines here. I like the idea of the passenger lines sort of coming through the middle and then the freight line sort of spreading out underneath, but I don't know if that's going to be possible either. Going over instead of under may be a better option. The alternative, of course, is we just leave this as it is. It's not really untidy as such. It's just a freight train coming out of here, struggling to get up this hill, could well be blocking something here. Now, we do have to go up and down because of this road tunnel. Otherwise, I would just flatten this and make it a lot easier so there's no gradient. Maybe if I lowered the road, but I don't want to keep rebuilding roads. That's not really how railways work. So I think we could just leave this. One thing we are definitely going to do, though, is re-signal the entire main line all the way down to Munfingford. Because, yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. Again, it was sort of built in a hurry and then sort of haphazardly upgraded over time. We don't need the 20 signals in a row thing anymore. Realistic braking and signalling takes care of all that for us. So, yeah. Redo all of that. Then we get to the fun stuff. We're going to completely rebuild Gardcity Great Wintfield Airport, which is this one here. The first thing we're going to do, Reduce the number of platforms. I think it says there's 24 at the moment. Yeah, my notes say 24. We're going to take it down to maximum of 10. Possibly only 8. Which seems like a massive cull. But all these terminus platforms here are going to go. And there's 6 there already. So that takes us down to 18. These ones here. Was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? They're going to get halved, so that's going to go down to 5. So what's that? We've already lost 11, so that takes us down to 13. And then we're going to take off some up here as well to bring it down to 10. So it's going to make a lot more sense. The through lines here are going to remain. Slow, fast, all that stuff. It's going to all remain as is. We're definitely going to lose these top 2 as well, actually, because I think this is going to be a new tram hub. And yeah, as I said, it's going to make a lot more sense and work a lot better. This part here doesn't sound too big, but what this means is the buses here are going to move quite a long ways north to line up with the new station. This underground station can then, in theory, also move north up to here, the other side of the canal, and then the airport as a whole, the entire airport, all of this basically is going to move into this site, which seems mental, but it's been winding me up for a number of years now that the station is a good distance away from the actual airport, and there's also no alignment. This is the west terminal, which is what this station is. This is actually in line with the east terminal station, so we're going to change that. We're going to completely fix it. We're going to move all of this over to here, line it up better so that this terminal and the runways actually line up with the station of the same name. This one is then going to line up with this station, which means there's going to be a slightly bigger gap between the 2 terminals. We're going to completely redo the canal to bring it around in this direction, possibly this side of the railway still. But if not, then this station here is also going to get rebuilt. It's going to get moved south. This is then going to come around like this, and we'll find a way to get it past this piece of track here. We'll find a solution. Maybe it'll come down like this, level off, and then carry on, and then that'll be a bridge. I don't know. We'll sort that out in a moment. But this whole station is getting rebuilt. We're going to redo the approaches as well. Most of that will take care of itself when we redo the platforms. That's all fine. This is going to be the first time lapse of the episode. So everything, you'll probably see the airport get rebuilt as part of that. Just to make life a little bit easier. What else are we doing? Yes, reducing platform count at Rudworth from 4 to 3. So that's this one here. We're going to take out the bay, basically. And then this platform, this one, will be for terminating services from the branch, which is still in situ and set up and ready to go. All these extra depots and stuff, by the way, they're all going to get removed off camera. That's all fine. Everything else with the signaling here, again, it's just removing the multiple signals. This speed limit for this curve is going to remain because it has to. The alternative is we snip it down here, which is a possibility, I suppose, and that allows things to go a little bit quicker than they currently do. Actually, the more I look at that, the more I think I'm going to do that as well. So where is that? Oh God, why can't I see things? There. Realign tracks to increase curve radius. Hopefully I know what all this means. I did these notes, as I said, a while ago and submitted them for approval. And I've basically been waiting for a month and a half for George to get back to me. And I've not heard anything. So I can't really put this off any longer. I want to get these episodes, just for the record, this goes out in March, I think. But I'm recording this in February. And I'm going to record the episode after this, which is for April, also in February. So we're going to get the guys on the server, hopefully by March at the latest. But it's kind of a thing of if you are a supporter or a member or whatever, and you're setting up stuff like this and I message you with stuff, please do try and get back to me. Greatly appreciated. It means I can plan my schedule ahead of time, because life at the moment, there's a lot of other things going on other than the channel, and that whole work-life balance that people talk about. Very, very true. Very true indeed. Anyway, I'm not going to moan. I'm very grateful for the support. Rudworth, done. Everything else down this section is actually fine, including Neffingberg Springs East here, which I was looking at, and I was like, but how would I improve it? It's actually a good operational station. The crossovers all work, the signalling restrictions, everything works. So why would I change it? So I decided, not going to change it. It's absolutely fine. So the next rebuild is Wuworth. And to be honest, this one's also fairly straightforward. Excuse me. What we're going to do at Wuworth, in fact, I can read out the exact quote I've got on my list. Rebuild Wuworth Central in line with Western platforms. Reduce platform count to 8. Remove top platform and replace with road. So to translate that, all of these Eastern platforms here, gone. Goodbye. We're going to keep these ones here. And then we're going to remove this platform here, and we're going to build a road that comes down and round and underneath, and it lines up perfectly with that road, and it will line up perfectly with that road. Obviously this will have been removed as well, so it can carry on all the way down, possibly connect up with this with a little bit of landscaping. And in fact, I think that can then continue all the way along like so. We could build a bus station in this section over here, because then it joins up with the branch as well as the main platforms. If I do my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think it would be, along those lines. And then we can remove these southern platforms as well. And also these through lines we don't need anymore, because the through lines are only there because of the split platforms. So that all takes care of itself. Realign approaches to match new station design but keep style. I think that means keep the flyovers and the dive under. Now, to be honest, the dive under here, I'm really tempted just to leave that where it is. And just have this be the junctions and everything. I don't know though, because that doesn't make much sense. I think we are going to have to move this design over slightly. Don't know if it needs to go in this area though. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. My PC froze while I was recording, so I had to stop the recording and all that stuff. Then I came back and did a whole 20-25 minute section about what was happening next, and then looked over and realized I hadn't recorded any of it because my PC had froze again. So that was fun. So we're back. Hopefully everything's working now. Apologies if there were any other like little glitches and stuff in the last bit. I'd like to think it all recorded okay, but I haven't checked it yet. So fingers crossed. If not, mighty swearing. We'll see. So I think I talked about everything to do with this, didn't I? Yes. One important thing to mention. I've already done this. I'm going to do it again. The episode I was just talking about, this one as well. So, oh God, March is the Trans Rapid episode. April is this one. May is the Great Eastern. So that's why I'm recording way ahead of time. Because I was like, in my head, I was like, it's only a month. What am I talking about? But no, it's 2 months. I'm recording 2 months ahead of schedule. And hopefully by the time even this episode goes out, or even the last episode goes out, the guys will be on the server and actually running their trains. That would be good. That'd be very, very good indeed. As again, I said it previously, but you guys wouldn't have heard it. I have sent off a version of the map with all of the southern lines out of Gardcity fixed. Master Trams has that. He's been working on his services. Once this episode is done, I'll be sending a map to George. And then once the next episode is done, I'll be sending an updated map to George so that he can plan out his services. Hopefully, everything is planned and ready. These things do take time. That is one thing that I mentioned earlier as well. However, I would like to get things done ASAP. So, guys, well, obviously by the time this goes out, you'd have already seen my messages and stuff, but hopefully everything's up and running. Because I really want to get trains running on the network. Most importantly, I want to get trains that aren't mine running on the network, because then I know there are other people on here running their franchises. Cool. Back to the subject. I'm just checking. Yep, the screen is responding, everybody. We're all good. Right, Canal Street. We're going to remove the top platforms, the northernmost ones, and we're going to move the southern ones to this side of the bridge so that it actually connects up to this town, which I can't remember the name of. It could well be Nadham, or it's whatever this one is. This could actually be part of... No, that is part of Nadham still, I think. I don't know. That does affect Gronville East slightly, but I think only a set number of services stop at Canal Street anyway. But again, I don't know what George's plans are, so that might change. Everything down here is fine. This station here got rebuilt as part of the North Western project. Everything over here is okay, just needs resignaling. That includes this section here. This junction here is all fine. This station, I don't know why you exist still, actually. So that might get moved. Again, I don't want to remove stations. I think there is a point of keeping them still. It's just, yeah. The more I look at it, though, the more I'm like, do we need one there? Maybe we don't. So that might go. That genuinely might go, that one. We'll see. Plindon. Everything here is okay apart from this one bay platform here. So we're going to snip that one off. It's all going to be good. Everything else is fine. Even the junctions pretty much are fine. There's nothing to worry about here. We can get trains in and out of platforms for terminating and stuff like that. So it's all good. We've got 2 bay platforms facing north, 2 facing south. That's all good as well. I'm sort of speed running this bit now because I've already done it. This branch line here is going to remain as is. These 4 lines here are going to remain as they are. What we have here, though, is an operational quirk. That was the bit I was talking about when I realized that nothing had been recorded. We're going to reprofile this curve here and this curve here to make it work a little bit better. That's all planned. Know what I'm going to do with that. What's interesting, though, is trains can leave Plindon heading directly south or west. And thanks to a little thing over here, they can end up either just bypassing Freyham Parkway and heading to Sannington, or if they're on this line, they can go via this pair of lines through Freyham Parkway and then onwards, or, and the more I think about this, actually, there are no platforms on the fast line here at Freyham. Maybe I'll build some platforms on the fast line here at Freyham, because they can also take this line to bypass Freyham and end up at Sannington. But I think we will just keep trains running this way. But again, it's not up to me. It's up to George. Sannington, everything here remains the same. And yeah, the line down to Wintfield, no changes required, just re-signalling. So that will all be done as part of the project. Now, there is one more thing that I was considering doing, which was building a connecting spur between the slow lines here and the slow lines here that join up just before Wintfield Town Station. So there'll be a little 1-track branch that comes off in this sort of direction underneath the fast lines and connects up with the slow lines, and it will run down through this gap and then cross underneath. That's on the to-do list. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be today, but we'll get it in at some point for sure. I do have a note to check all the branches. I think all the branches actually are fine on the Great Western because they were built relatively recently compared to some of the others. And then completely rebuild Nadham TMD, which is over here. This eastern side will get nuked, to be honest, and everything will be focused over in this site. Bearing in mind these passing loops and stuff can all be platforms now. We'll have through lines somewhere along the way. And then loads of bay platforms and stuff as well. Capacity of at least 30 trains, it says. I think already 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 10 there. 12, 14, 16, 17 there. So if I just built the same again on this side, then it's done. Job's a good one. Although we are going to move these ones to this side of the bridge. And we're going to take out the bridge and just have it as a normal track. But yeah, this isn't going to be too tricky to do either. This won't be built on camera today, though. We'll do that off camera because there's no point getting it done yet until trains are actually running. So that is the full list of Great Western stuff. So there's 2 stations to rebuild. Let's head over to the first one now. I've already given a brief idea as to how this is going to look. The style is going to remain the same. We're going to keep this station building, just move it further up. So I think all that's left to say now is let's get building. Okie dokie, that's all done and dusted then. This turned into a far bigger project than I anticipated. If I sound out of breath, by the way, this is actually the next day. And I do this stupid thing where I'm sat downstairs and I'm like, okay, time to go record now. And then I sprint Usain Bolt style up the stairs. And I'm a man well into his 30s now. And the lungs aren't what they used to be, and neither are the legs or anything else for that matter. So I end up panting at my desk, which is not what I want to be doing into a microphone. But here we are. So, as I said, this is way more in depth than I thought it would be. Before I show you around all of it, because there's still aspects of it that I'm not 100% happy with, and can see myself change. In fact, I'm already planning now how I would change it all. But before I show you all of that stuff, let's talk about the rest of this episode, because I believe I said at the top of this video that there would only be 2 time lapses in this episode, but actually there's going to be 3. Reason being is I completely forgot about the rebuilding of Gardcity St. Peter, which isn't just taking out platforms. There's a whole other thing. There's a depot expansion, there's tracks being realigned, there's platforms being removed and moved, and all sorts of other things. So we're actually going to have 3, but that one's going to be relatively short, and I think the Wuworth one is probably going to be the shortest, because I think that's the one that requires the least effort, because we're literally chopping the station in half and then just adding some extra platforms in. So hopefully that one's pretty straightforward. Before we head over to GSP though, I just want to talk you very quickly through what we've done here. There's, as I said, aspects of this I love. There's aspects of this I don't love. One of the things I really do like is this road that we've put in here now that goes through the whole airport. I think this looks really, really cool. We've got the bus station down here for the terminal, which is all of this. The fact that it wraps around the road here as well is very Heathrow terminals 2 and 3. I was going to say 4, but no, 4's external to the central section, isn't it? It used to be 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 got closed down, and renumbering things is too expensive. So we're just left with 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is not confusing in the slightest. But I think what was 1 is now part of 2. So there is still technically 5 terminals, but it's Heathrow, man. Whatever. So we've got the west terminal over here. This is the east terminal, which looks a lot nicer. The only thing I don't like about these, maybe there are invisible versions of these airports, is the fact that, yeah, it's quite obvious that I've just built eye candy around a real functional airport. There's been a long discussion on OpenTTD forums and Reddit and things like that about can longer, bigger custom airports be made functional. The answer seems to be no. It's the way that the game's coded. I can totally understand it. As frustrating as it is, you know, it is just one of those things. You kind of have to put up with it. Anyway, we've got these 2 lovely airport terminals. We've got 3 runways here, lots of taxiways. I've even gone in since the time lapse and put in the signs, and there's a control tower over here, which looks very nice. This is kind of inspired, I think I've mentioned this before, Perth Airport in Australia, where I used to go quite a lot. The control tower is like a mile away from the actual airport. It's a long, long way away. It's on the other side of the car park from the terminal. It works, clearly. It's high enough. You can see everything. But I always had it in my head. Maybe Heathrow's one of these ones as well, actually. But I always had it in my head that the control tower is in the airport. But this isn't. It's its own external building. So I've just done that here. You can imagine, sort of, the bus stations will be better positioned in this area. And there'd be car parks and stuff in here as well. So you just got the control tower nestled in amongst all of that. Probably need one over here as well, but you can, in theory, see all the areas from this one location. So, yeah. The bits I like. This. Making my stations a lot more smaller and a lot more subtle. I'm a big fan of that. We have kept the bus station here, as well as the new one. We've got this one. Now, this is kind of buses from the local area. So, you come from the town here, you come down here. That's not Wintfield. Wintfield is over here. God, this used to be huge. It's tiny now. You can see all of these bus stops used to be in the actual buildings, and now they're not. Oh dear. Yeah, you get the bus, you go to the station, you get on a train, you go on. From here, there will then be buses that also go into this area. The long distance coach from Gardcity will be redirected to go in here. I just haven't done that yet because timetabling. It's a pain in the backside for road vehicles right now, so I don't want to do it. You can't make me. You can't make me. I don't like that the East Terminal Station is over here. As I was talking to you guys just now, I started planning, what if I built it around here like this and put it over here? That could work, because then it's in line with the bus stops and everything. And it's right opposite the terminal building. You can just pretend these are terminal buildings. You can imagine this one is kind of like Luton Airport Parkway, where you get off the train and then you have to get another form of transport to actually get to the airport itself. You could walk it if you like, but I can't imagine it would be a very pleasant walk. Very loud, quite windy with the jet engines, and quite exposed as well, because you can't exactly have a woodland walk right next to an airport. So, yeah, I imagine you'd get on a bus. Now, these are, of course, linked. These are the same station. That's for passengers transfer reasons. But in reality, it would be these are completely separate entities, no connection whatsoever. Whereas this one over here would make it a lot more of a pleasant experience. That would mean having to redo this canal again, which I'm not particularly wanting to do right now. The benefit as to how timetabling and stuff is going to work in the future is we could just switch things around and just update the time it takes to travel between those two specific points, and the rest of the timetables will update automatically. That's the dream. Right now that's not the case, but that is the dream. So that's something that will be on the to-do list at some point in the future. I do like how the tracks wrap around here. I am thinking now, though, that we could have actually just done it as a tunnel. That's hindsight coming into play. Excuse me. I like the canal. I like all the other stuff. I really like this and the road going underneath. That's really cool. And I kind of like this over here as well at Trunley Market, the new station here. I think that works really well. Complements the one over here nicely. And these trucks look a lot tidier as well. I also took an opportunity to do a little bit of rejigging over here. But this, when we come to do the underground and overground, this whole section here is getting rebuilt anyway. So that's absolutely fine. Right, my throat is gone. So I'm going to bring us over here to GSP. You already know what the plans are. So let's get on with it. So here we are then, the completely rebuilt Gardcity St. Peter. And by completely rebuilt, I mean the bus station has now been moved down here. The tram hub is now up here. There are going to be some changes made to this still. I'll talk you through those in just a second. We've also realigned the throat of the station here, which has allowed me to do a little bit of reconfiguring of the overground line above it. And we've extended the sidings. Now this looks long. You think about it, I could have a station here and a station, well, basically here, and that's the length of the sidings. But that's not unrealistic. There's a few things actually about this network where I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem very realistic. And then I've looked at real world examples and been like, oh, actually, no, that's incredibly realistic. Excuse me. I've been doing a lot of talking the last few days. the last part of the video where I was talking, hopefully I've managed to edit it out, but God, I had a huge coughing fit. It wasn't very pleasant at all. I will try and avoid doing that this time around. Less editing for me. I've also feel like I've got a massive sneeze coming, so if I suddenly go quiet, that's why. Anyway, that's not the relevant bit. The relevant bit is this. We've got 3 fast lines now coming in and out, bidirectional and slow. We are going to use my little signaling technique to make one of these. Might just do this one actually. Exit only, because that is mostly accessible by all lines, and now it's accessible by all lines. He says, is that true? No, these two can't, and that one, excuse me, can't. But that's fine. For the most part, that is now sorted. I've also re-signaled the entire line, as well as rejigging this slightly. It's not quite how I envisaged it, but it's not terrible. The stations, I'm slowly rebuilding them as we go. There's a few still, like this one here at Plinston, that still needs redoing. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. Just for the rejigging here, the old line came off in this direction, I think, and went underneath. I've now reconfigured it so it comes this way. So there's technically 2 junctions here back to back. Excuse me again. That's allowed me to redo this slightly. And there's a couple of other little bits over here that I've tweaked, but they're not important right now either. The next big thing that's been redone, little priming well. Yeah, this is all being re-signaled as well. This isn't the big thing. The big thing, I'm just sort of doing a slow reveal, is this. I've actually rebuilt this. So the station was over here. I've now moved it over here. This is East Terminal. And that, as you know, is West Terminal. There's a few things that have changed here as well. We'll talk about that in a second. We've removed the metro, the underground here, and the overground, I suppose, from running through Trunley Market. The more I looked at it, the more I thought we're trying to fit square pegs in round holes. Putting a station here made no sense. It's nowhere near the terminal, and there's no safe way really for passengers to get between the two. So that was out of the question. Over here it's a slightly different story because it actually connects up to the bus station here. It's not connected to the airport, even though it is. You know what I mean? They're all one connected station, but the logic of this with the station building is it goes out onto this forecourt, and then from here you'd go through to the actual airport. So I've moved it over here. I can put some eye candy in these tiles here, and then it makes a lot more sense. From here, getting over to here was impossible. Just wasn't happening. So now we've got this. So the canal makes a weird U-bend, but that's fine. It's a man-made canal. It's designed to kind of shimmy in and out of where space is available. The other option I could have done here was bring this out a little bit further and then across, and then this would have made a little bit more sense. But I kind of like this shoved in the corner kind of thing. There's only little ferry boats really that come through here, and they're designed to navigate these sorts of waters, so it makes sense. And then yeah, the metro system now goes from East Terminal straight over here to Flarfingford, and that kind of works as well because these lines going their separate ways for a bit and then joining up is exactly what connections are made from. There's no point having them run parallel the entire way. Just as an example of that, over here out of GSG, the third rail line here, it connects up here, but then there's only a platform on the third rail lines, not the main line. Then they connect again, and then, I mean, technically the underground joins here as well, but you see there's another station just on the metro. Then they connect again, and it alternates. And that means that if you're a passenger wanting to go from, say, here over to Flaham, you have got options, but the more direct route is to get on the main line and scooch around. That's why I do it like that. And that's kind of what I've done now over here. If you are at, let's say, East Town, and you want to get to the airport, you get on the main line. But if you want to go to the docks here, you get on the metro. Or if you want to go to this airport, you get on the metro as well. Instead of having to go all the way up to this metro and then, this airport and then transfer. It makes sense in my head. Hopefully it makes sense in your heads too. And then the last thing I did was reconfigure this road so that it runs underneath and joins up with this. And then this is kind of the airport perimeter, and this is the perimeter road. Again, I think that makes sense. I don't think I mentioned this. when I built it either. It was 4 platforms originally, and then it got upgraded to 6. So when we started this episode, there were 6 platforms, including 2 bay platforms. It's been brought back down to 4. Terminating trains will use the centre 2 platforms, depending on where they've come from and where they're going to. So if you've come from the east, you'll use the northernmost centre platform. If you've come from the west, you'll use the southernmost. And if you've come from the south, I think you'll use the northernmost again. Possibly. I might be talking gibberish there. Maybe this bottom one will be used as well. And that'll be for trains from the south. Because you can cross over. So try and eliminate crossovers as much as possible, even though all lines are accessible to all other lines, except you can't get to this platform from this line, or you can't get to this line from this platform, which is fine because it's a one-way platform anyway. Yeah, cool. I also built this depot off camera. This was a bit of a challenge. I wanted at least 10 sidings here. I think we have 12. Yes. So that was mission accomplished. This depot was supposed to go on this side of the bridge, and then I realised with the junctions I can actually fit it on this side of the bridge. So that's nice. Got all that in as well. And then I've re-signalled the main line here from the airport down to Wuworth, including rebuilding Rudworth station. It's now 3 platforms. Junctions have been tidied as they have over at the airport as well. You may have noticed the junctions have changed slightly. Re-signalled the branch line here as well, just to bring the speed limits up. Reprofiled this curve. It's now got a more easy radius. That's the word I was looking for. And the speed limit here has been reduced to 55. I think it was 55 anyway, actually, but it's still 55. I thought about increasing it, but nah, 55 is fine. I'm just checking. Yeah, I did do all this right. I was a mishmash of doing this late at night and also whilst doing other things. So there's a chance mistakes have crept in, but I don't believe so. I've also re-signalled this station slightly just because I've rejigged the waypoints. So there's no more waypoints directly after junctions. There's stations and then there's a waypoint on those stations, which are the through lines. Much better way of doing things. And I actually noticed when I was doing the branch line here, I forgot about this branch line. I was like, what the hell's this? But no, I remember. I built that a few episodes ago now. But over here at Dintown, I do still have waypoints. So there's a very mixed bag. Master Trams, if you're watching, although I think I'd have already asked you this in person by the time this episode goes out, of course. I might be moving those. Would you be happy with that, is what I was going to say. But yeah. Neffingberg Springs West, I actually moved the mainline station west slightly, so it lines up with the metro a lot better, and that allowed me to build the waypoint there. There's another waypoint here that lines up with this bridge. I like this, being able to integrate waypoints into bridge design. This is going to get turned into a side platform station on the metro side. I just haven't done it yet. And then it will connect up to the bridge. And I just think it looks so much nicer when it's built like that. It just integrates in. And then we got this still to do, which is Wuworth, which is the next time-lapse of the video, which will be starting momentarily. And then that's it, basically, for the episode. The next time you see me in live action, real time, maybe not live action, this is all... It's not live action, technically, is it? Because this is a sprite-based game. You know what I mean. Next time you see me in real time, we'll be talking about the rebuild of Wuworth, the new TMD down here, and all of the other changes I'm planning on making, which is, in order, rebuilding Wuworth, realigning the approaches, that's technically part of the rebuild, removing the Canal Street platforms here, and also resiting the southern platforms to this side of the bridge, tidying up Plindham Junction, but not rebuilding it. The platforms are fine. Rebuilding the branch, the little connecting thing between Plindham and the coast, so this line here. And yeah, rebuilding Nadham TMD. One more thing before I go into the time lapse. I've already mentioned this on Discord, but these little things, I've noticed, there's a good example up here. I updated my JGR patch several weeks ago now. This has been a long-standing issue, but it's only now that I've noticed it's actually a problem. These are no entry signs, I believe. Although they don't look like it. They look like, that looks like a bike, and that looks like a car, maybe, or a bus or something. I don't know. These symbols started appearing on various bridges. There's loads in Gardcity as well. He says, Yeah, this bridge. And not just that bridge, but all of these bridges have got these symbols on them now. I feel like it's only the ones that I've built, because these two don't have them. Maybe it's because these ends have been built on as well. Possibly. Now you see here, this truck is quite happily using this bridge. No issues at all. But you saw the other two over here. I found them stopped like this with the symbols on this bridge. Since this bridge here, I actually rebuilt it entirely and one-wayed it. I didn't actually know you could do one-way things on the bridge pillars, bridge ends now, not pillars. So that's a cool new feature. This one, I cannot do anything. I cannot remove it. I can't one-way the road. And I can't do anything here. So I have no idea what's happened there. But these are stuck. There's also no way that I can find to use console commands to remove just this vehicle. I've had a quick look through this. And this is just information. There's no, get rid of button. And then there's all these things up here. Now, there is a way of using a console command to... Oh, this is the other thing. This truck's going to sit here for a minute, and then it will just phase through, like all stuck vehicles do on the default settings. So it's not holding up traffic, but these are vehicles that are supposed to be operating on a line. And right now, they can't. Now, as I was saying, there is a console command that can reset vehicles. Unfortunately, it's the same command that resets all vehicles of a company and removes all stations owned by that company. Now, just for the record, I have 3,266 stations, and I have no desire to rebuild a single one of them because I've had to use a console command to remove them all. So that's out of the question. I'm going to see if I can upgrade or update my version of JGR and see if that fixes this. If not, I'll be contacting JGR to see if they can fix it. But it's not game breaking. It's not going to end the series or anything like that. As you saw, the truck has now passed through and is on its way. But that's annoying. That bugs me. That bugs me more than anything else right now because I don't like it. So yeah, we'll see if we can fix that. If not, I don't know what the plan is. I also don't know where you're going. Oh, that is the orbital there. Okay, yeah, no, that makes way more sense. Come on, Mark, learn your map. It's not like you built it or anything. All right, done to Wuworth. Let's do some rebuilding, and I will see you on the other side. And here we go then. We are done. This is the last time lapse of the video done, and I'm very happy with the new Wuworth. It is literally pretty much the same station. The only exception is some of the gaps down here have been filled in with platforms. I think we've got 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10. Not including the 2 branch line ones, so it's 12 in total. We've got the new road that comes through here, which looks really cool. I'm tempted to get rid of one of these bridges, probably this one, just to open up the view of the station a little bit more. But then you would have lots of railway bridges in a town. Well, it's not even a town, it's a city this size. Excuse me. Speaking of branch lines, I have gone and re-signalled all of them. So the one from Rudworth down to Dintown was already done in the last part. But this part, no, 4 of them. Actually, there's 4 branches on the Great Western. The Wuworth up to Barnford. That line has been re-signalled. I've also rebuilt the depot down here, decommissioned one of the old lines, left a little bit of, excuse me, again, lifted track here as a remnant. And I've also built this connecting line here, which you might look at and think, why is this here? Well, this is here because, and if I just quickly pop in a shunt signal there, this is storage tracks up here. These are storage tracks, and there is technically a depot in here, but this depot, by my rules, doesn't have to be the same for everyone, but by my rules, this depot is for servicing only. If you want to buy a train, you have to do it elsewhere and then bring it in by rail. That's what I can't speak today. That's what I'm going to do with my lines. It doesn't have to be the same rules for everyone, as I said, but I like that idea because it gives the network a bit of character then, and it also gives these little branch lines and things a reason to exist. It's also the fact that this would be completely isolated from the main line if not for this branch. So having some kind of connection between the two does kind of make sense. There are also quite a few industries around here, so you could say a little freight train might come up here every so often and deliver stuff. Like you've got, oil wells in towns. We're going to remove all of those because that's not very realistic. But you've got a glassworks, you've got a fabrication plant, you've got brickworks, you've got mines, fertilizer plant. That would reek during the day, my word. More mines. Again, the mines in towns, tempted to remove and put some other industries in. Speaking of, there's a dairy there, which is also a weird place for it. A couple of hotels, although they're passenger related. But then there's also this, the recycling depot. So you could have a little scrap metal train, or recyclables, I suppose, train come up, collect that stuff, and then leave. Anyway, yeah, talking gibberish. Heading down this way, we'll come back to the depot in a second. This has all been re-signalled, re-speed limited, all that good stuff. This was actually done in the time-lapse, so you saw most of this. Rejigged some things over here, reconfigured this, moved some waypoints around. I liked the signal box up here, so I'm going to find a way to bring it back. Probably place it over here, if not, maybe around this area somewhere. I know Plindam's got a signal box, so I might just reuse that one, because I think that worked quite well. Down to Plindam. Not much has changed here, actually. In terms of trackage, I think I tidied up 1 or 2 crossovers, and that was it. And then re-signalled all of the Great Western platforms. I noticed this a lot, actually. There was no way to get from the slow lines to the fast lines and back, and there was also no way to get from either of these lines to the central line. There's the signal box I was talking about. So I've redone all of this now, so I think, and I hope, everything is accessible from everything else. And the same goes for up at Wuworth. Hopefully everything is accessible. I'll talk you through that more in just a second because it's quite complicated. This has been rebuilt, although I want to treeify it a bit more because right now it looks a little barren. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer, doesn't it? So yeah, in theory, Great Western trains can run south from Plindam down to Sannington 2 separate ways. Main line or this branch line. There's also the fact, and I've kind of kept this to myself until now, but we have down here at Freyham. Where is Freyham? Oh, up there. Technically, this is Condall Parkway, but never mind. We have here at Freyham Parkway options. You can run from the Great Western here. You can run east to Sannington and then beyond to Munfingford. You can also run south down through Freyham Parkway to Kindinghatton Airport Parkway. From the coast, you can run east, or you can run south this way, or you can run south this way. Now, West Coast Trains will be using this branch, I imagine, more than anyone else. But for Great Western, the option is there to actually take some of this trackage and run down to Kindinghatton. There's also the fact that you access the Charwood line, which I've not upgraded yet. I don't think, actually. Maybe I did it when I did the Gardcity South Eastern. I'll have to check that. But yeah, this is the line that connects up with the southwestern line, and heads down to Charwood, which is where Great Western trains were originally running to. So that's still an option too. I'm going to get rid of the franchise boundaries, I think. Something that Audigex, again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, has suggested, where hard limits on franchises just isn't a thing in the real world. The example they gave was the Norwich to Liverpool Lime Street train that just runs through like half the country, and that's an East Midlands train service, or East Midlands Railway service now. And yeah, absolutely right, that is a thing. So the franchise boundaries as they used to be are now going to be gotten rid of. The regions are still going to exist, but it means that if you want to run a Great Western train down this line to Charwood, or if you want to run it down this line to Kindinghatton, I don't see why not, as long as you don't get in the way of anything else. But considering my timetable programs are supposed to take care of a lot of that for you, then yeah, I genuinely don't see why that can't be an option anymore. So if you want to do it, do it. Simple as that. What else? Oh yeah, down to Munfingford. All of this has been done as well. The only big change that was made down here, there was a crossover somewhere. I think it was here that I've removed. The reason being is there's one just up the line here, just before Sannington, and I genuinely didn't see a need for another one between here and Munfingford. Just didn't make much sense to me. So yeah, got rid of that too. All the bridges on the main line have been upgraded as well. That was done off camera. Oh yeah, and I did build this little connecting thing in. This is related entirely to that long platform over at Gardcity St. Peter. If you haven't worked out what that long platform is for yet, I have mentioned it previously, but you know, it's not you get a prize for guessing it or anything. It's for charter trains. You could imagine them running along the slow lines, down through here, crossing over here, running down through this, and you might be thinking, why does this connection have to exist? And that's because down south of Queen City, which is always further south than I remember and always further east than I remember. This is Queen City Junction. Down south, along the main line here, is our Heritage Railway with a connection to the main line. And literally the only reason that spur exists at Munfingford is so that steam charters can come down here and access this Heritage Railway from Gardcity St. Peter, and then they can run along the entire length of this, again avoiding scheduled trains. What time of day is it? 7:37. Yeah, the big boys aren't out yet. Don't think anyone's out yet. I still want to move this depot maybe to over further up the line. But yeah, they'll run along here, and then terminate. It seems weird that they turned back north again, but yeah, they'll terminate over here. That'll be a morning run, and then in the evening they'll do the same thing in reverse. And then during the day they'll go sit in one of these sidings. Yep, that's the reason. Back to Wuworth then, because I've got one more thing to show you. I'm going to come in from the north here so that I don't accidentally reveal anything. Just zoom in slightly. I always forget, this is Canal Street, isn't it? And the one just after Wuworth is Canal Road. Also, yeah, Great Western trains can run up here now, too, if they so wish. The line to Moningpool Falls here has not yet been re-signalled and everything. So we'll do that. I'll do that off camera. But yeah, everything else, including this stretch of line here, the Country and Western, that's all up to scratch and good to go. Right, last thing. Wuworth Depot. This franchise is quite fortunate. It has 3 very large depots. There's the one at Cardtown that's just been upgraded. There's the one at Great Wintfield that's just been upgraded, although that's mainly going to be for Gardcity Connect trains that use the Cross City line, which also needs to be upgraded. I need to remember to do that as well. And then there's this one, Nadham. Now, my target here was to get 30 trains in. There are 32 sidings. I am extremely happy with myself because I genuinely thought I was going to underdo it. Access is from both sides. All sidings can be accessed from the east and the west. The only thing that can't be accessed from the east are the actual real game depots. But that's fine because you'd go into one of these sidings and then the train would reverse. So that's all good. Although saying that, these 3 tracks at the bottom here can't access a depot. So I think I was meant to have done that. The 2 tracks here are basically null and like you don't need 2. It's just getting the crossovers and stuff in. This is version 4 of the depot. The first one was actually built over here in like an L shape and it just looked awful. And it was, you could access it from both sides thanks to a triangle here, but it just didn't sit right with me, so I moved it over here. And actually I really like this version. When the grass grows back and everything, I think this is going to look really, really good. What this has also allowed me to do, you can see where the original track ran. It was straight across here like this, and then the bridge was there, and then it came around and then up. So this is actually the old depot access track that's now been turned into the main line here. And it's allowed me to build a new station here at Nadham South, which means the existing Nadham station has been renamed Nadham West, which sounds like a guy who might have played Batman at some point, but no. Nadham West, Nadham South. Nadham's a big place. Technically, Wuworth and Nadham being next to each other is like a powerhouse in the west here. And Charnford joins the party too, and I guess Gintown up here can as well. But yeah, we've now got more operational flexibility here, and of course Great Western trains can use this branch and run all the way down to Fort Flonwood if they so wish. There's some bay platforms down here, perfect, ripe for the taking. And yeah, we were able to reconfigure this line, we were able to get this depot in, we were able to build a brand new station. I did want one over here at Edinburgh Springs as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the track to come around, and I wasn't going to build some weird slalom thing just to get a station here, so we've had to skip it again, unfortunately. The temptation is actually here to rebuild this straighter across here, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now. All good. And that does it. That's this episode finished. We are one project away now from getting everything done that's on my lists. The last thing to do, as I've stated at the start of this video, is the Gardcity Great Eastern. And actually this one is a pretty short list. I could give you a quick rundown of it. I'm not going to go through each point in detail, but essentially we're going to reconfigure the platforms over here slightly. Not massively. We're not rebuilding anything. We're just de-electrifying some platforms, tidying up the station throat a little bit more and reducing the number of lines coming in here. Rebuilding Renston Interchange to remove the split platforms. That's quite easy. Basically, we're doing what we did at Wuworth, and we're lining everything up with this side. So the HLR is going to stick out a little bit, but the Metro, well, Underground, and the Transrapid, it's all going to line up nicely. And then we're going to just check signaling, rebuild Henning Hall Junction a little bit, and then do just a couple of other teeny tiny little changes. It's actually quite minimal. It's going to be a relatively short episode in comparison to some of the others that have gone out recently. And then we'll be able to get people on. And that's incredibly exciting. I'm very much looking forward to it. And hopefully the guys have already got most of their timetables sorted. But the great thing about this system is they don't have to have them all sorted. They can add stuff and take stuff away as and when they choose. The main thing is they can come on and get trains running, which is awesome. Very much looking forward to seeing that, particularly this section. Although, again, I still need to re-signal these bridges. But actually seeing trains running through the centre of Gardcity, that would be the first time in, 3.5 years that trains will actually cross these viaducts, which is incredibly exciting. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this ride. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, be sure to hit that like button. It lets me know, helps the channel grow, all that good stuff. Besides that, you can drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. That's always appreciated as well. Just because I've got a list of things I want to do doesn't mean there isn't more things that I would like to do after this, or even things I don't yet know I need to do. So if you have any ideas at all, branch lines you want to see, station designs you want to see built, junctions, all that good stuff, let me know down below. And if you've got any ideas for OpenTTD tutorials as well, I know sometimes people ask me, how did you do that? How did you do that? And I end up making tutorial videos on it. Let me know. I'm happy to do more. They seem to go down really, really well, so there's no reason to carry on with them. There's no reason to not carry on with them. Misspoke there, sorry. No reason not to carry on with them whilst people are watching them. Besides that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Again, really helps out the channel. And if you have already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. A couple more things if you want to help out the channel. First of all, there is a hype button somewhere if you're watching on mobile. I still don't know how it works. You'd think I'd have learnt by now, but no, that'd be too easy, wouldn't it? But somewhere there's a hype button. If you find it, please do click it. And you spend some of your hype points, I believe they're called. It really, really does help out the channel, help it get noticed and all that good stuff, and it's much appreciated. So if you can, please do. Besides that, there's also the YouTube membership information in the description down below. Patreon is there as well if that's your flavor, but YouTube membership is the main one because all members now get early access to my videos. As soon as they're uploaded, you guys can watch them before they become available to everyone else. So by all means, check that out as well. I still need to go through the tier system. By the time this goes out, I may have already gone through the tier system, but yeah, check all that stuff out. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and until next time, I will see you soon.